Hi everybody, this is Alchemist2 and I'm back again with another book review. Recently I read the ESP Enigma by, looks like Dr. Powell, Diane Hennacy Powell, and it is a rather fascinating read. This is a short book, it only has, I kind of count the acknowledgments. It's 230 pages, but counting the acknowledgments, which goes quite into depth about these different phenomenons which occur. It would be 266, and then you've got the index. So, honestly, it's 280 pages. But it just speaks about different so-called, well, it's not really so-called, but incidences of near-death experiences, psychokinesis, telekinesis, telepathy between two people, telepathy between pets and their owners. I had mentioned Dr. Sheldrake before. They speak about Dr. Sheldrake's work, and if you haven't read Dr. Sheldrake's novel, I would highly recommend that you do so, because it's also very enlightening, and it's probably the most fascinating thing you'll read if you like animals. And it just proves the fact that animals are more in touch with their owners than we think. And it talks about astral projection and out-of-body experiences, ether, the element. Well, it was more common. Trying to remember what era that was. It seems like it would be more 1920s, 1930s, I think, because they talk about it more in that time. And then it was a term that just wasn't used at all because they thought it was hokum. And there are quite a few things that are discussed in this book at length, and they're all really very fascinating indeed. And if you're interested in the whole aspect of the brain itself and precognition and the incidence of coincidences, as the doctor speaks of in this book, it's not really coincidence, as she says. There's such a thing as synchronicity, and she speaks of string theory and different concepts such as this, and it's really mind-boggling, and it just goes to show that we have only scratched the surface when it comes to our consciousness, as she labels it. She says that consciousness itself, it's so beyond what we can comprehend, particularly in dream states. And she also speaks of twin consciousness and how twins are hooked at the hip, basically, when their minds are concerned. And she also talks about savants and people with autism, and she talks about schizophrenics. She also speaks about synesthesia, which I absolutely find totally dazzling and bewildering, and I can't imagine what it would be like to have that kind of sensation happening. It's a very unusual kind of experience, and there's an anime about it. It's called Kanan. I haven't seen it yet. I have it in my collection, but I have yet to watch it. And that was the main reason that I bought it, because it was about synesthesia, among other things. And it has, of course, the obvious tie-in with the Promised Land. Well, their equivalent of the Promised Land is what's called Canaan. I think it may be more than just that, because usually animes go quite into depth with allegory and symbolism, but I'm getting a little bit off track here, sorry. This book is completely incredible, and it will forever change your perspective on how you view the human mind and the mind of animals, even that. And we can't really consider animals dumb. And it also talks about how animals can sense seizures, how animals are trained to do so. I know somebody who has um, a leader dog, and he's blind. He wasn't born blind, but he had gotten glaucoma later on in life, and it took his sight. And he's been blind for 6 years, and this man is a total jewel. He's just absolutely amazing. He's the most positive person I've ever met, and he's just just a joy to be around, and I'm very lucky to consider him my friend because he is awesome. His dog, Alec, is probably the most unbelievable animal I have ever met, other than my own dog. And I noticed that animals in and of themselves, they try to figure you out and try to do their best to please you in any way, shape, or form. And they know when you're sad. They know when you're hurting. They try to comfort you. They are, and no one's taught them this. It's just it's such an unusual thing, and scientists don't understand this. They don't have a word for it. They don't have any kind of comprehension as to why this exists. And the book goes into detail about this as well, and it's one of the many strange incidences that the doctor speaks of in this absolutely incredible book. And there's some humor in it as well, and that makes it all the more enjoyable to read, I believe. If you find the human mind as incredible and absolutely stupendous as I do, then I would pick this up because it is just amazing. And it just proves that we have our own ability to choose whatever we wish. And just because we don't have any words to describe it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. And it's something that we are grasping as best we can to try and fathom or make sense of to the best of our ability. And it's just the tip of the iceberg. It's going to develop so much more in the years to come, I think. And this is what makes this field so exciting to me. And maybe I should have gone into neurobiology. I don't know, but would have taken more math, and I'm not so good at math. But anyway, this book is really sensationally done, and it's absolutely fantastic. And I give it 2 thumbs up and 5 stars. No doubt about it. It took me a while to read it because I really haven't had a lot of time to sit down and read something because I've been so busy with work, but it was certainly worth my time. And I'm going to be selling this over at half price in Greenwood, so eventually I'll get another bag of books ready. And if you see this there and you're intrigued or the least bit piqued in your interest, pick it up and read it. You never know what you might discover, because I discovered so much, and this book is just massively in depth about these different experiments, and it's just fascinating and really, really extraordinary. And that's all I can say about the ESP Enigma, because that's what it is. It's still an enigma, and I think it will remain an enigma for many, many years to come.